firearm collection and the security cabinet that holds it. And I figured since it's all emptied out and since it's already cleaned out, I'd do a review of it, give my thoughts on it, let people know what I think of Stack-On, and show off some of the upgrades I did to it, and just overall do an overview. Starting out, this is the Stack-On 18 gun convertible security cabinet, and it's it's about midway up their line. They have several smaller ones that are real small and are only, the inserts are foam, so they're kind of cheap. This is further up their line, and starting with the first upgrade, I will show you. When you open it, obviously it's very dark inside. I've got a light shining directly into it and you still can't see into it, so one of the first upgrades I do to it is light it. It makes a world of difference. It's very easy to do depending upon how you want to do it, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier to see inside. So with it being a convertible cabinet, what that means is you can have it set up different ways. I've got mine set up for long guns here. I've got 2 racks of 5 for a total of 10 long guns. And then another upgrade I did was I have a couple, I have one longer training rifle that I put an extra rack here so it could go, because it did not fit underneath here. But you can convert it to shelving, you can convert it to just racks for long guns. So what I'll do is I'll show you the inside now, and I'll show you a close-up. Alright, so here we are with a close-up of the cabinet, and I might say safe a few times, but cabinet safe, kind of the same thing. Okay, so starting with the lighting system, all that is, and I can show you, is I went to Walmart, spent about 13 bucks, and got some rope light. And the smallest packet was able to do the entire safe. It goes all the way around the perimeter of the safe and then some, and lights the entire safe quite nicely. And I'll show you, I attached it to hold it up in the corners with magnetic hooks. So all it does is it gets hooked into the corners and it's all completely removable. So if, say, the light strand dies, I can replace it. If I want to get something different, maybe change the color or something, I can do that. And it all cost me about 13 bucks, and plus I had a couple of the magnetic hooks laying around. So moving on, one of the other upgrades I did was, obviously I put these little hooks on that I did a video on how I made. That's quite helpful. So the shelving, all the shelves that come with a foam pad, which is nice, especially depending upon what you're putting on the shelf. One, you don't want to scratch, if you're laying guns there, you don't want to scratch the guns, and 2, you don't want to scratch the safe if you're putting something there that might scratch the paint, just for cosmetic reasons. So as far as anchoring it, you can anchor this. In fact, I don't have it anchored, and there's one of the holes. And actually, to run the lights, instead of drilling a hole to take the cord out, I ran the cord through one of the anchor holes, and it works quite nicely. So these are the racks. When you get it, you do get sets for both sides. You can set it up how you like. One nice thing is they give you extra scope, an extension for scoped guns or something like an AR, which is nice, because this I have one of them in for my AR, and then this is the one I actually added. I drilled a hole and added this one for one of my guns that was bigger than would fit underneath here. So I did have to do that. I kind of wish they had maybe made a slot for longer guns. All they would have had to have done is basically extend this out to the edge of the safe or cabinet, but you know, not that big a deal. It was pretty easy to do. So the rest of the shelving I have set up. You'll see the first one you get's pretty narrow, and I like to use that one for magazines. You can put magazines and stuff in it. I usually keep like the loaded mags for my carry guns ready to go. So if I'm taking that particular gun for the day, I can just grab the mag and go. And then you've got various other shelves. Now you can adjust the height on some of them. There's separate holes, but there's not too much adjustment. But you know, it's a nice feature to have. You know, they do have it set up for different things, which is nice. The bottom is also lined with felt, which is nice. And you know, especially if you've got nicer guns with maybe a brass butt plate or something, you don't want to scratch it up, you can do that. Let's see. One of the things I also did as an upgrade was, because you've got so many different spots to mount shelves, I took like a clip strip and attached it there, and I hang some of my smaller holsters and stuff off of it, and they're right there, easily accessible. Nice thing about the door is because it's unlined, you can just attach magnetic hooks, and I hang shoulder rigs and stuff off of them and stuff like that. One of the downsides is I know Stack-On does offer a door organizer. I have heard a lot of people had issue with them. I guess they attach through Velcro and the Velcro comes off. So I remedied that by just using more magnetic hooks, and then I hang what I need to hang off of that. Overall, I've had the safe for a few years now, probably about 3 years, and I really have no complaints. The nice thing about this compared to a full-blown safe is the weight. 2 people can easily carry this, whereas a safe, you know, of this size would probably at least need a dolly or a refrigerator mover of some sort, you know, at the very least. So I will pan back out and I will finish it. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about the security of it, since in fact this is, you know, it's a security cabinet. It's designed to keep people out. As well as for me, it's organization. The door is a 3-point locking system. You've got a bar at the top, side, and bottom. So the doors are actually pretty resistant, but the problem is most people don't go through the door when I get into one of these. And that's one of the reasons why I got a security cabinet over a safe. A lot of the safe companies, you know, they'll go on about how strong their doors are, and I've seen some really nice safes. The problem is, you know, it was a lot different in the 50s when they were cranking out safes, and, you know, big sturdy safe from basically then back was great. You know, people didn't have access to power tools. And the problem is nowadays, safe or not, most safes, I mean, you know, you're not talking much more than that thickness steel. So somebody 20 minutes with an angle grinder, all they're going to do, they're going to completely ignore the door. They're not even going to pay attention to the door, and they will slice a hole down the side of your cabinet or your safe, and they're going to cut it open. So that's one of the reasons why I went with a security cabinet over a safe. Is one, the cost. This is, I believe, just over $200 versus a safe of this size, which would be much, much more. And, you know, obviously it's going to have more safety, but it's, when you get up into some of the really high-end safes, you get into diminishing return. I mean, you know, if I had a much larger collection, I would probably have a safe double this size, probably go spend $1,800. on a massive safe that requires 5 guys and a special equipment to move in. For me, I prefer something like this because it still offers really good level of protection. It's not something that someone's going to be able to lift up and carry out your window if they break in, especially when it's loaded. And it's a lot easier to maneuver. The size of it compared to what you can fit in there is a lot better, and overall this is why I really recommend the security cabinets, for someone looking who maybe has a moderate collection, doesn't have every gun under the sun, and is just looking for something to keep them safe. Especially if you've got kids, it's good to keep your stuff locked in a safe. I know some states require you have a safe or cabinet or something like that. This is a great option for that. I definitely would recommend Stack-On. I know some people have had issues. I have not. I've had nothing but good luck. I will say putting it together was certainly a headache and a half. The instructions, while they were sufficient, were certainly not, amazing. But as you can see, I got it together. So at the end of the day, that's what they were designed to do, and I accomplished the task. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and have a good day.